Welcome to day 4 of my Central Atolls trip on EcoBlue, and it's the third day of the diving because day 1 is when we arrive. You've seen all the video with that on with the videos, and we're still in South Atoll. And today I just did 2 of the 3 dives because I do get a bit tired, especially at the start of the trip. It's full on, long dives. I'm not spring chicken anymore. I'm 62, so a good man knows his limitations. So I did 2 of the 3 dives today, but they were really nice dives. We're still in South Atoll. We did the MV Khudima, a nice little wreck, an ex-supply vessel, used to supply the resort it's sunk close to as a kind of house reef. Nice wreck, reasonable size because a lot of them in the Maldives are smaller. Nice swim throughs, and quite a nice bit of life on the wreck. We had some nice batfish, some nice puffer fish. Nice pleasant first dive on day 4 of the trip. Really enjoyed it. The weather's not been brilliant. It's been windy, stormy, the sea's been up, but the Donny crew and the dive guides have been fantastic. So we decided to go for 5 Rocks, an iconic site in South Ari. Unfortunately, the current was running, which just made it a slightly more difficult dive. They do try and plan it when the water's slack, but we had a current. This site is famous for its big sea fans, its big Gorgonian corals, and its swim throughs between the rocks. And it's got a lot of beautiful, healthy coral, along with nice fish life, as you'll see in the footage. I really need to go back to 5 Rocks to do it justice. Coming up next is the briefing, and then the underwater montage. I hope you enjoy these dives as much as I did.
As for our first dive in the morning, we are gonna do MV Khudima or Fushi wreck. This is a cargo hauling ship which is sunken purposefully from the resort, Central Resort, right in front of us, to their house reef on the north side long time ago, and they have emptied the whole ship, so there is not much artifacts on the wreck itself, but this has been emptied, so it is very much convenient for the divers to go into the water to the wreck and then explore the wreck, penetrate even inside the cargo holds inside the wreck as well. So this is more like a 60-meter hull from bow to stern, and the shallowest part of the wreck starts in the top of the wheelhouse, which is around 15 meters on the west side, and the more we go towards the east, it drops down to the depth of around 20 meters on the bow of the boat, while on the south side it shallows up to a depth of around 20 meters, while towards the north it drops a little bit down to 25 meters on the main deck, while where it hits the ground on the south side, in between the house reef of the resort and the wreck, it goes down to a depth of around 25 meters. But while if you go away from the reef towards the north side of the wreck, it drops all the way down to a depth of around 30 meters, 99 feet where it's the ground. And on the center of the hull, you could find a hole like in square which you can penetrate inside the cargo holds, but inside the cargo holds there isn't much, mostly silt on the bottom, so be very careful with your buoyancy if you happen to go inside, and make sure you take a dive light with you. Okay, and from the top again you can come out to the main deck. If you go in from north side or south side, it doesn't matter. From the top you can come out to the main deck and explore the main deck of the wreck for the rest of the dive, and then towards the end we will try to come back once our NDO time reach up to 5 minutes back towards the south to the reef, which is right next to the wreck. more or less around 10 to 20 meters from the reef to the wreck. And on the reef, it's mostly macro life, and now we have little bit of hard coral life. It used to be a really good reef, but still you can see the dead skeletons from the El Nino. And on this dive, we'll be focusing more on the small stuff, macro stuff, little bit of bigger fishes like shacks and dogtooth tunas pass by. But usually around here we find mostly nudie branches, shrimps, different types of crustaceans that hide well, scorpion fishes, stonefishes, small octopuses, and other things that camouflage well in disguise on the top of the wreck. And underneath the board, you can find ledges. Have a look underneath, you might be lucky with a shark or a stingray. Side of South Atolls, and we are inside Dangeti Lagoon, and we are going to cruise south from here to 5 Rocks, which is a very famous pinnacle around this area for its topography as well as the fish life and the coral life on the dive side. This is a small pinnacle which is split into 5 different blocks, which makes up canyons and swim throughs in between, with very good life of gorgonian sea fans and different colored sponges in the canyons itself. Okay, so from one side to the other on the top, the blocks, it's more like 40 meters in diameter, and as we go from there, from the blocks goes and drops down to a depth of around 25 to 30 meters, and then again you find a sandy slope extending out deeper into a little bit down below 30 plus meters. And all around the pinnacle, again you find a big garden of gorgonian sea fans, which attracts different types of small macro stuff that takes refuge and shelter from those fans as well. Okay, below 25 meters you could start see the big sea fans as well.